Looks like the Red Sox front office still believes in this Red Sox team. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and last series I said that may have been the worst series of the Red Sox 2024 campaign. Now, I don't really know. This series that the Red Sox just played definitely gives it a run for their money because they just dropped 2 out of 3 games to the Colorado Rockies, one of them in a big way, and that officially puts them at just 1-5 coming out of the All-Star break. However, still somehow just 1.5 games out of a playoff spot. Thank God for everyone else losing as well. And with 5 games to go until the MLB deadline, things are starting to get a little bit murky for the Red Sox. However, in this series, Red Sox fans and the Red Sox themselves still got some really great news. So what we are going to do in today's video is we're going to break everything down. We're going to talk about the latest Red Sox news, and we're going to talk about this series and how it affects the 2024 season. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the big news first. I think that's what most people are going to want to talk about and try and forget what happened in this series. But yesterday, as the Red Sox were losing 20, let me repeat that, 20-7 to the third worst team in Major League Baseball, Alex Spear got the talking to Craig Breslow, who announced some pretty big things. In fact, the exact quote in this article was, "At some point, we need to stop with the stupid analogies and put the turn signal on. We've played really good baseball for the past months. We put ourselves in this position where we're going to improve the team. That's where we would want to be. In a perfect world, we can improve our 2024 team and also our 2025 team and beyond. That's my job. But I think as things stand right now, we're looking for ways to improve the club." Basically, that is front office speak for we believe in the team and we want to add to it, which is super interesting because, to be honest with you, ever since the MLB All-Star break, the Red Sox have been trying to give this front office every reason to sell. But I absolutely love this fact. I absolutely think this is an extremely exciting moment for Red Sox fans for the 2024 season. The Boston Red Sox are going to most likely be buying at this year's deadline. Now, obviously, this is not a 100% guarantee that they are going to absolutely buy all into this Red Sox team, right? It sounds like they are going to be making improvements that make this team better. Obviously, that could indicate buying, but things could probably change pretty quickly here if they do not do well against the New York Yankees and sort of bury themselves in the wild card race, right? Obviously, if they lose all 3 games against New York, yeah, you're probably not buying at the deadline, but as things stand right now, the Red Sox are buyers. And what I love about this is that for the past few years, really, even before Craig Breslow got here, the Red Sox have been what felt like stuck in this middle ground. The Red Sox have been a little bit of both buyers and sellers. The Red Sox really haven't gone all in on a team. They haven't really totally dismissed a team either. This right here, it's conviction. It's a little bit of balls, right? Craig Breslow could have looked at this team and said, yeah, we're going to do a little bit of both, considering how they've been over the last couple of days. But he said, no, you know what? These last 6 games do not define this Red Sox team. These last 6 games give me more motivation to want to help this team, and that's exactly what I want to do. And to me, that's really, really impressive. How it works out, I don't know. But the big thing that Craig needs to remember here is that this is not something that needs to be done on Tuesday. You don't have to wait until the finality of the deadline to get anything done. Obviously, it gets a little bit more easy as you're finally getting pressure on some of these sellers, but at the same time too, your team is hurting really bad right now. I mean, terribly bad. It would make a lot of sense if you are planning on investing in this Red Sox team to go out there and actually invest in it as soon as humanly possible. Obviously, I think a starting pitcher would be a tough thing to get just tonight or tomorrow, but a bullpen arm, that would help a whole lot. A smaller right-handed bat addition, I think that would help a whole lot, especially with Tyler O'Neill battling some knee issues recently, which we'll talk about in a second. But at the end of the day, it looks like Craig Breslow is buying for this Red Sox team, and that gets me unbelievably excited. In terms of the series as a whole, it was not a pretty one, right? I don't know how much you guys want me to recap one of the worst series of the year, but I'm just going to do it quickly game by game because yesterday may have been the worst Red Sox game of the entire season, and not just because Nick Pivetta only went 2 2/3 innings, giving up 8 runs, 7 of them earned, but somehow also striking out 6. I think this is just sort of who Nick Pivetta is at this point, to be honest with you. We keep wanting more from Nick Pivetta because we keep seeing greatness, but he's just consistently inconsistent. There are games where he's going to go 7 innings, allow no earned runs, and punch out 10. The next game, he's going to do something like this. It's just who Nick Pivetta is at this point. I will give him some sort of credit here, though. He's a home run hitter in a high-altitude ballpark that just felt like the worst marriage in the entire world. I kind of went into that game expecting him to struggle, certainly not like this, but the other reason this was probably the worst game of the season was because of the fact that the Red Sox also had 4 errors on the day. That right there isn't a problem of altitude. That is a problem of focus, right? You can't have 4 errors in one game and expect to win. Now, obviously, I don't expect 4 errors means 20 runs every time, but still, that was absolutely brutal. They did not play a single thing very well yesterday. It was just frustrating to watch. I think, again, personally, had to have been the worst loss of 2024 so far. The other loss in this series was for a completely different reason. The Red Sox didn't fall apart in this series. The Red Sox highlighted their biggest need once again, like we just talked about, something that Breslow can fix immediately, and that is their inability to close out games. Tanner Houck did not start the game off super well. He went 6 innings, allowed 4 earned runs on 10 hits, while walking 3 and striking out 2. Honestly, this I do want to blame on the altitude. Tanner Houck is a off-speed pitcher, right? He relies solely on off-speed pitches. If you count a sinker as not a fastball, and a park that's high altitude like this, that is the worst place to throw off-speed pitches like Tanner Houck's, it kind of makes sense he got lit up a bit. I'm not super worried about Houck, but we are starting to see a little bit of a trend here where his off-speed stuff isn't moving as much. That can tend to happen with arm fatigue as the season goes on. Something to absolutely pay attention to. But again, while it wasn't a blowout Tanner Houck ace caliber performance, he kept this team in the game and they were able to get back into it and they were able to put themselves in a position to win. Unfortunately, the Red Sox bullpen just simply could not get it done. You hit well enough for the Red Sox to be in a position to win this game. In the 8th inning, you couldn't get it done. In the 9th inning, you couldn't get it done. In the 10th inning, you couldn't get it done. In the 11th, right? It was just inning after inning after inning until finally the Red Sox offense couldn't keep up with the amount of runs that the Red Sox pitching staff was giving up. That was the problem at the end of the day. This was a winnable series. If the Red Sox had anyone in that bullpen that could shut a team down in clutch situations, they would have won this series. They probably would have won the Dodgers series as well. We've known this for a long time. But it hasn't just been doom and gloom in this series. There were also some really good performances as well. So let's break that down and let's talk about the series and this news overall. However, before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for taking a second and doing so. Let's get into it. The good performances in this series was mostly on the offensive side of things. And when we're talking about the offense, we got to start with Rafi. He had 5 hits in this series, 4 of them extra bases. Thank God he is okay. That may have been the most terrifying moment of the season when he went down, but he looked to be perfectly fine, and he was hitting yesterday and went 3 for 3 yesterday, so I'm not really worried about his other shoulder, but that was a terrifying moment. Tyler O'Neill was absolutely incredible in this series. He had 5 hits in this series. 2 of them were absolutely torched for big boy home runs in the same game. He also had a double as well, and we talk about Tyler O'Neill, and people get frustrated with Tyler O'Neill because of the strikeouts, but he has been absolutely key for this Red Sox offense this season. Jarren Duran continues to absolutely dominate as well. He had a home run and 2 triples in this series, which gives him now a 7-game hit streak. This dude has a 7-game hit streak once every 8 games this year, it feels like. It's ridiculous stuff, right? We keep sitting here saying, what can Jarren Duran do next? I mean, they were down by 13, 14 runs at the time, and Jarren Duran's still legging out triples. It's just the type of player he is. Cooper Criswell on the pitching side of things threw an absolute gem in this series. He went 7 innings, allowed 5 hits, no runs, and struck out 4. It was absolutely massive. The Red Sox bullpen has been beat down over the last 6 games, so to give them a little bit of a break in this series like that was absolutely fantastic. And we got to shout out Coop, man, the only Red Sox player to appear on Red Seat Radio, 1, and 2, he's been doing everything the Red Sox have needed him to do this season. Look, overall, this series, it wasn't fun. In all honesty, this road trip has been absolutely awful. It's probably the first road trip of the season that has been truly terrible. And this makes me understand why fans are like, this team isn't a playoff team. This team isn't great. This team needs to sell. And I understand that narrative, but at the same time, too, looking at what this team is doing right now, it is indicating that Alex Cora believes not only in the 2024 club, but the next couple of years of this Red Sox team as well. Craig Breslow coming out and talking about what he's planning on doing at the deadline. That indicates to me that this front office believes in what the 2024 Red Sox can do. And obviously, the players have never stopped believing in what this 2024 team can do. So, in my opinion, it's really only right that we as fans also believe in what this team can do. I am chalking this road trip up to simply the worst road trip of the year. Not an indication that this team can never compete, but just a bad couple of games. Hopefully, we look back on this series and this road trip in general in a couple of months and we say, man, I can't believe we were worried about this Red Sox team. But in order to do that, Craig Breslow's going to have to start reinforcing this team and reinforcing it today, not tomorrow, not after this series, not sitting on his hands patiently. I mean right now. It's time for Craig Breslow to put his money where his mouth is. Those words sound fantastic on paper, but until they're actualized, a lot of us sitting here are just simply not going to believe it. It's time for this front office to believe in this team as much as we do. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think? What do you think about Breslow's comments? What do you think about this series? What do you think the Red Sox are going to do with this year's deadline? Let me know all your thoughts on the latest Red Sox news in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just helps out a ton, mean a lot to me. Don't forget, you can always get these episodes in podcast form if you want to listen instead of watch. All you got to do is head over your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you, hopefully with reinforcements, in the Red Seats.